Do it this way.
Okay, and I'll just watch it if that light's not blinking.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably did.
More cameras in here than there are on movie sets.
What's that now?
A little intimidating.
You pass me?
You don't have a record if you come in here.
You better not.
Hopefully after graduation.
Did we have bills yet? Yeah.
On your reports, until you all,
Here.
those are your signatures, that's. So you your signature on that one, and then initials on. Right down. Initials on that one.
Hey, you get paid today, you have to go up there.
That's right.
Earn that
And
money.
these are all your bills, big bucks. And everything in your report is, your cash reports, your
Where you gonna
expenditures.
go?
Your,
And that's gonna be where, back here?
your reports, your reports,
Okay.
vendor lists and all that stuff.
Boy, that's hard on the eyes. You see that map?
Do you want to read?
I did not. Do I need one?
Well, it's the agenda.
At least you can see it in black and white.
Thank you.
Can't see anything on it, so.
I got one.
Oh, you got one. Oh. No, we'll read it. Take this.
Yeah.
Really, he doesn't have a standing. It would be your trip, and you. Okay. Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. He's just in time.
Ready?
Yep, I'm ready for you. Item 3 on the agenda is Carbon County Sheriff Report.
So that's a hard copy of it. I've even emailed everything June, July, and August.
Okay.
We're still having trouble up there with counting the hours, but that's kind of a summary of the calls we've had
Okay.
all summer. I didn't know where we lost track of all that, so. But I made some notes. Some of the more serious ones were a felony DUI was arrested here in town. It'll be through the county. The city attorney was aware of it and stuff, but then because it's a felony, it's transferred to district court. He actually got 2 that week. So, and we've dealt with him through some other calls since then. We've had, of course, some mental health transports, welfare checks. Oftentimes it's the same handful of people that we do that for. A couple different disturbances, or at least labeled that way. Probably most notably is one that was charged with the felony assault. Somebody hit another guy with the pickup. It's in the process of going through district court as well. It won't be going through city court. And then there's been follow-up on that since. Some different things.
Oh, we need to talk on that.
Yeah. He actually spent some time in jail in Broadwater County. So, had some intoxicated people that usually just need a ride to a separate residence for the night. Disorderly conduct, probably we had a deal the night of the fireman's street dance or whatever that got canceled. About 3 that morning there was a fight. I don't even know if it was, you'd call it a fight, it was more of a, somebody probably prevented a fight, but he ended up getting arrested for disorderly. They're still working on some other aspects of that, as well as some of the things that happened after that or led up to it. Had some dog bites. Had a hit and run here on Main Street. Some guy left his car on the street overnight or during the day to meet up with somebody and came back and somebody had hit it. He didn't call us until he got home, which was back in Billings, so all you can do there is give him a white form. You know, nobody's seen it, nobody, especially after it's been moved. We've had the cleaning salesman go through town. I guess they came in and got a business license at some point. They didn't come in.
They came in and somebody called, the sheriffs came over and asked, and I said,
Okay.
and I had to call Shirley and ask if they had to have a license. And he said yes, but nobody came in
Okay.
to get a license.
They must have left town then.
They must, I don't know.
We never had any calls after that I could find.
But
I saw her walking around town, I wasn't sure. I kind of kept an eye on it for a while and then went home and found out that she was going door to door, so.
You know, and some towns have ordinances in which you can't do that. So
We have one for
we have
transitive license, yeah.
something, however it works. But we've had people driving around acting suspicious. We haven't come across anybody that was breaking any laws though, you know, just driving around checking things out. The ones that we have had encountered with, some neighbors, a lot of neighbor stuff, not getting along. Deputies will come over and kind of explain things, and that kind of has been quite a bit of that. We did have one corner call here in town, I think in late June. It's kind of a summary of the whole thing. I don't have the hours, and that's part of our deal with our computer stuff. Our IT guy is still dealing with that mess, but it's not just you guys, it's everything we're doing to track the hours. So I emailed all that stuff to you. That's a rough copy I printed off my car computer, but
Okay.
it'll be the same thing.
Oh, thank you.
So,
Any questions?
Where were the dog bites?
I don't know the address. There's 2 dog bites.
We had a problem with that, I don't know.
That's not bad. I mean, that's
There's several dogs that are loose all the time.
that. Remember, that's from June, July, and August. So
The deputies are following up on that.
Yeah.
those are reported to us. So I don't know what the status is. I don't
I just
know.
don't wanna end up in a part of town where I get bit.
No.
If Jerry quits fighting the dog, we'll be okay.
Yeah, you know, and
One
before
pit bull down there.
yeah, you're not the only town that
Careless
has
dogs just get shot at.
so.
If they attempt to bite you and you kill them on your
You
property.
always have the right to protect yourself.
Okay,
That's what we tell people, but you're the one that has to.
right.
I don't have that problem. Just give them dog biscuit. Then they won't bite.
Yeah. If you feel threatened, it's one thing, but just because they're on your property is not a reason to shoot them.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a big difference there.
Is there a difference between them and cats?
As in, if you feel threatened,
Yeah.
I guess.
I might get.
That's good.
We've got a cinnamon brown bear that's showing up here recently.
Really?
Yeah, and if he starts getting too close to homes, is that a call that we should make to you or to?
You can call us. We'd get you in touch with Fish and Game. Fish and Game they actually have a bear specialist stationed in Red Lodge.
Yeah.
They're so busy dealing with the grizzlies right now.
That bear cub has been around for about the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
And
is
it's,
that cinnamon?
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's been down on the
He
Barbie
walked right by
field.
my house and
Walked
past
right
your
past
house.
my house, yeah, and we stopped and took pictures of him on the highway not too long ago,
Yeah.
crossing the highway, he's headed toward the river.
He doesn't
and
seem to cause trouble. but-
No, it's just a
No.
cub, I think he's only about 3.
Yeah, if there's a problem, Fish and Game will be the one to handle it, but you can
Yeah.
either call us, we'll get you in touch, or call
Okay.
headquarters and Billings directly. So,
Any other discussion? Okay, thanks, Josh,
all right.
glad to see you here.
Yeah. Good to meet
Excuse me. Be back.
Okay. Next thing on the agenda is the approval of minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from August 5th council meeting.
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the August 5, 2019 town council minutes. All in favor?
Alright,
All opposed?
make a motion to approve August 19 minutes.
Second that?
I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the August 19th meeting for the TSEP grant. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Make a motion to accept or approve August 27 minutes.
No second.
Okay, I have a motion to accept or approve the August 27th preliminary budget minutes. for that meeting, and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
I make a motion, we accept the September 4th final budget meeting. Minutes.
A second.
And a motion to approve the September 4th, 2019 final budget minutes, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Make a motion to approve the bills for August 2019.
Second that.
Have a motion and a second to approve the bills for August of 2018, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Have an employee report, Jen?
Council's receiving claims by vendor, claims approval list, cash report, expenditure versus actual, and revenue versus actual. Kirsten asked me to let you know that she's almost completed with the budgets for this year, this fiscal year, and last fiscal year. She's got a few more things that'll be done. The auditors are waiting for reports from Eleanor Kindness, so they can move forward. So that's where we're standing on both of those budgets and audits right now. And as soon as the audits are done, then we'll get our AFRs done by Norm that need to be done. I have training and billings on September 18th, so I'll be out of the office all day. It is to do with the local government workshops for year-end closing and basic governmental accounting for beginners. They start at 9 and won't be done until 3. So I won't be in at all that day. And then in October, I have a wedding that I've got, and my daughter's getting married, and I will be gone from the 5th through the 7th. I've asked Shirley to take the minutes for our 7th meeting, if that's acceptable with all the council members. Other than that, that's about it. We're moving forward and trying to get everything rectified and done.
Looks like we're getting really close. Any questions?
I don't have any problem with taking time off.
Thank you. Jeremy?
Just real quick, just continuing the town maintenance, a lot of everything slowing down due to the weather, and been trying to get through some more alleys for tree trimming for trash truck doing damage, and there's blue paint up in some of the trees, so I'm trying to get some of them out of there. Just upkeep with the burn pit, mowing park, all that kind of stuff. With the burn pit, everything's getting better and better down there.
Good.
I don't know, I think people
Less
reckon-
dumping of.
Yeah, and they're dumping it in the correct places where we can move it in. Yeah, there's no garbage hardly anymore,
Good.
so they're all learning and doing a good job down there. I'm happy with the community of doing that.
And where are we at on Lover's Lane?
The material was dropped off Friday for the bedding. The pipe comes in tomorrow.
Okay, good.
And then,
As soon as it gets a little bit drier, we'll try to get that done.
yeah, and then just the sewer and water sampling, and, you know, I've got to go to the buildings twice a month to drop those off at the lab. But that's all going really good, and the results are coming back good. I figured out how to enter them online to DEQ, which they require, and so it's all going good. And that's about it. Any questions?
I do, and it's about the speed limit signs on 3rd Avenue down there, 3rd Street. 15-mile-an-hour speed limit signs. I know we were supposed to, I talked to you several months ago.
Yeah.
I know you put it on your list, I just,
Okay.
Well, I think we checked it, and I'm not sure if they were ever ordered. Did we never found those, did we?
I believe there's one over there.
Okay.
Is that for A Street then, to slow me down that corner?
On
or-
3rd
Yeah,
Street.
3rd Street where all the kids play, it's from the trailer
about
court.
the trailer park there.
Oh.
We can put one on.
We
Eighth
approved
Street
it about
if we want to.
2
No,
years
I'm
ago.
good with it.
Yeah, it's been, supposed to have been ordered and set on 3rd Street 3 years ago, I think it was, pretty
Yeah,
close to
it's been a
that,
long time.
yeah.
And it would
So
really be
Would it be in
nice.
the, like Swecker's property or before that down closer to
Well, you know
East
where that
River?
old abandoned house is by Lloyd's, between that and the trailer court?
Yeah.
Just before you get to the burn pit?
By Logan's there.
Oh,
Just
stick
by-
it in the road.
Yeah, right there somewhere on that street,
Cause you got those little kids, and I mean little kids,
yeah.
2 and
They
3 year olds.
were riding their bikes right up to my car before they even realized I was stopped, and they almost ran into
Yeah, they
my
come
car.
through that alley and
Mm.
all into that house, not even looking.
Yeah,
And we got people that just fly by there, so. it's-
yeah, we do.
We really need to get it slowed down.
Doesn't that sign need to face in both directions on Third too?
That's why I'm looking at 2 different signs.
And I thought they were over in the garage.
I'll check tomorrow. I know there's one for positively.
Right.
We just gotta
Um,
put them up at 15 miles an hour there.
right. Okay, thanks, Jeremy.
Jeremy, do you need anything to get yourself ready for winter coming on? Anything that you can see that we're gonna need?
No. That's the plan here, middle, towards the end, you know, starting to go through the equipment and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Everything's been going good with that. And, no, I made it through last winter, so, nothing held up, but yeah, I'll just make sure everything's in the best condition I can get it in. And then, but
Are you looking at putting that spreader on that truck this year?
I can now that I have help. That was the biggest issue. It's on a real rickety situation right now. There's no way I was gonna attempt that by myself. And it's even gonna be a challenge with a helper, but yeah, I can look and try.
Well, the thing of it is if we need to stand the intersections and stuff, we can use the skidster or the backhoe and spread that.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, you threw it all by hand last year, so.
yeah,
So, you know, and that,
great way to wake up.
we have
that's for
other
sure.
equipment besides that dump thing that they use, so.
Did you say you needed a new blade on the bottom of the
Snowplow?
That was, I got that.
You got that done?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
replaced, yeah.
Yeah, we got that last year, so.
That's the only other that might become an issue. Might just have to rebuild the mount for the truck, cause it was tweaked before I inherited it, I guess, but
Yeah.
I mean, I was able to make it work through.
What do
this
you need
last
for
winter.
that?
Probably just Everett,
Yeah,
just pull it and take it to him. I think he might have built it, so it's kind of like a custom. It's definitely not the original. I don't know why they didn't order the original with it, but yeah, it just, anyway, I think I can pull it and work with him and just re-weld it and re-brace it and stuff. That's mostly what it just needs is re-brace,
yeah.
so.
Okay.
But
And we have sand on hand and all that?
yeah, there's still a pretty good pile. I mean, it wouldn't hurt to order more, but there's still a pretty good pile down at the river.
Well, we're gonna have to order more anyway to backfill and level those, when we put in those, that new sewer line off of Lover's Lane. And then we might as well get enough to finish up the Tomahawk and get that all done. Haven't got the, easement yet from the highway, but, when I talked to Andy the other day, he said about 3 weeks, so that's what we're looking for.
Sand ain't really what you wanna backfill, it's more expensive if you got.
Pardon?
Sand is not what you wanna backfill and pack around all your pipes. It's more expensive than getting your 3/4.
Well, according to the UBC code, you do have to put some sand in there,
So
tamp
good.
it down, and then put in your backfill and make sure that's level before you put your line down, so. We're looking at getting a little bit of sand to get that tamped down, so at least it's level, and we don't have this going on all through the winter. Anything else? Okay, on to new business. Forrest is here today to talk with us about the planning board and growth policy.
Yes, thanks for having me. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Forrest Mandeville. I'm the county's contract planner. I'm going to stand over where Josh is, just so I'm not hitting your public works people in the head with my folder. I do have a couple of just the information sheets on what we're doing, and there's a couple if you want to pass them around, you can kind of. Sorry. It's for everyone, not just the council, but we did want to make sure that we involved you. The planning board wanted to make sure that we involved the town council specifically, since the county is looking at updating its growth policy, and the town councils are a great place to learn what is going on in the county, since you all have the bead on your communities, and we don't of course want to focus necessarily. You can focus, if you have an issue you want us to mention in the growth policy, it can be a very, very local issue. It can also be a county-wide issue. You can even complain about someone else's community. So you can, it's really county-wide, not community-specific, but what I handed out there does have some information which should answer some of your questions, at least some of the big questions we get when we do a growth policy. It's one of the questions that comes up is, what regulations are you going to put in a growth policy? Well, a growth policy is not a regulatory document. So you cannot use a growth policy to regulate anything by itself. Now, the growth policy can recommend that the planning board, councils, the commissioners look at a certain policy. But putting that in the growth policy does not create the policy. It's just a general guide for the county. We do have an online survey. I have the link in that piece of paper I handed out there. It's on SurveyMonkey. We'd really appreciate it if you were to take it. It shouldn't take more than about 2 minutes to fill it out. And it'll just give us a little more information about what you all think about the county. But what I did want to do was come here, and thanks again for having me, and just kind of see if you have any questions. Is there anything you want us to be sure to note in the growth policy? I understand you've adopted the county's growth policy in the past, so if there's anything that you want that's specific to Fromberg, or that you think we should have mentioned in the last growth policy, be sure to let me know, and we can get it in there. But
I've got a question, Forrest, as far as when you get this new revised one in place, will you come around to the different towns before it's adopted by the county, or is it just just noting the new things?
we sure could come around and give a little presentation if you would like.
For comments, public comments, just to see what has been revised in the growth policy.
Yeah, the typical what we're looking at doing is not a wholesale throw out the baby with the bathwater and start from scratch, because it was just revised 5 years ago, so it's on a 5-year revision cycle. But a lot of the information is current. We just wanted to make sure we updated population figures, some of the stuff that does change. So it's not if you look at it, it's not going to be a massive change, but we can sure come around and represent.
Or at least send the town a copy.
We'll definitely send you a copy. Yep.
Thank you.
Have you seen much growth or development in the area?
Well, we have seen some here.
Well, we have,
A few new houses that have been put in. And,
In the process of being put in.
yeah.
Okay. Is that process going pretty well?
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing that we have in town is people that feel like the mobile home doesn't belong in certain places, or you know, the manufactured housing set up next to somebody's house that he's trying to sell for $300,000.
And how have you guys dealt with that?
Well, we have a policy in place, you know, and it's fairly, I would say, open? Wouldn't you say?
Well, there are ordinances, there are the zoning
Yeah.
ordinances, and right now, the ordinance committee's in the process of looking at those and proposing changes and going through them, but it's gonna take some time. But I think that the council recognizes there's a need for that too. And so they're in the process of doing that.
Okay. How's the land use trends around here? Have you noticed many, are things going out of agriculture to different uses? Have you seen any impacts of that? Things holding pretty steady?
Yeah, I would say so.
Good. Good. Is that a good thing? Or do you want to see some more gravel pits or, I know farther south they're seeing a lot of wind farm development. Do you kind of like what's happening right now, or do you wish there was changes?
I would like to see some more growth.
Okay.
I really would.
Population growth, economic
all
growth.
of the above.
Okay.
I think we're in a position where we can handle it to a certain extent.
You
Wind farms.
you upgraded your water system not too
Yes.
long ago, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of capacity on there now?
And
We
the
do.
ability
We're
to
looking-
expand.
Right, and we are looking at doing a redundant water line under the highway and the railroad tracks. We are in the process of applying for a grant, several of them, and to rebuild or replace and update our fire hydrant system
Okay.
and get that done. So that's one of the things that we're really trying to get through with right now and try to get that done. So it's important that we do it. It's more safety than anything else. But
Is there a lot of community support for those programs?
I haven't really heard anything, but I feel like it's important, and so does the council, as far as getting our fire hydrant and our water system in place so that if we do, because in the past we've had a couple of fires and they were engulfed and gone before we could get even the hoses, over there to them. So I think it's really important, as far as safety for the town, that we get those in place and get that updated so that we have fire hydrants. And we do have a map if you'd like to get a copy of that map for
Okay.
your own information. And but yeah, that's what we're working toward right now, and trying to get some of our streets and stuff done. And I mean, infrastructure, I think, as far as I'm concerned, I think infrastructure for a town in order for growth is probably the most important thing. If you don't have good infrastructure,